Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of 2025 as I want to look back at the top 5 best and worst WWE matches of 2025. There is going to be some honorable mentions, so let's get it going. Now, some of you guys might not agree with what I'm going to put on this list. So my first honorable mention for worst match of the year is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu inside a steel cage for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. Even with a cage, there are still going to be some shenanigans as we saw the MFTs get involved, and Jimmy Uso couldn't even save Jacob Fatu. It was just too much. The hard truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that the steel cage was there so that Jacob Fatu can jump off it. I'm just being honest. All it was for Jacob Fatu to get on top of the steel cage, jump on everybody, just to make a moment. And especially Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa, it was getting stale. Like nobody wanted to see this after SummerSlam. But what could be worse than this? I'll tell you when I get to the list. So now, my honorable mention for best match of the year goes to the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Now look, this match was great. It was filled with storylines, it was filled with some great storytelling, even some great wrestling. But I unfortunately cannot put this in the top 5. Why? Because there was a women's match that completely killed it. And I'll tell you when we get to the top 5. You have the storytelling of Jade Cargill making her return, letting us know who was the one that attacked her. And it turned out to be Naomi. Now, around this time, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill were friends. Bianca Belair was in a pod, screaming at Jade Cargill, "Why are you doing this to Naomi?" So that was when Naomi was unfortunately taken out of the match, and Liv Morgan, who started the match with Naomi, was all alone. And let me tell you, everybody looked great in that match, especially Bianca Belair, who won that match. But what's better than the Women's Elimination Chamber match? Well, you're about to find out. And also, I'm going to be going over like top 5 best match, top 5 worst match, back and forth. Coming in at number 5 for worst match of the year is Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella at Survivor Series. Now, I'm pretty sure I said this at the Survivor Series predictions video. Nikki Bella, all throughout the year, has been losing. She was in the Royal Rumble, and she lost. She was in the Women's Battle Royal at Evolution, and lost. She was facing Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Clash in Paris, and lost. And all of those losses led to Nikki Bella challenging Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship? What? Oh, and guess what happened in that match? She lost. The match wasn't even good either. Nikki Bella was basically making Stephanie Vaquer cool down a little bit, because you know how great Stephanie Vaquer is. Stephanie had to tone it down a little bit, just because she's wrestling Nikki Bella. And do you want to know why this match happened? That's because there was nobody else on the roster from Monday Night Raw to challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. And if there was, who would it be? So now, coming in at number 5 for best match of the year is the Men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, this is a star-studded Elimination Chamber match as we have John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, and Logan Clown. And this match was to determine who will face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. The ending of the match was incredible as CM Punk was looking to get the victory against John Cena, since those guys were the last two in the Chamber match, but Seth Rollins, who was already eliminated, curb stomps CM Punk, and this has John Cena take advantage to go for the STF on CM Punk. And while that was happening, Seth Rollins, who was outside of the chamber, was telling CM Punk to die. Cena ended up winning the match, and that made him the number 1 contender to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. But the crazy thing is what happened after the match. It led to The Rock coming out and asking for Cody's soul, which led to Cody Rhodes telling him to go f*** himself. And moments after that, it led to the biggest heel turn in WWE history. Not the greatest heel turn, but one of the biggest heel turns in WWE history. and that is John Cena selling his soul to The Rock. But outside of that, the actual match was incredible. Logan Clown surprisingly looked good. Damian Priest looked good. McIntyre looked good. Like I said about the women, everybody looked good. But coming in at number 4 for worst match of the year is Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill in a triple threat match on SmackDown. I believe this match was supposed to take place at WrestlePalooza, so they ended up moving it to SmackDown after WrestlePalooza, I think. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments below. But man, this was very bad. It was around the end of the match where Nia Jax and Jade Cargill were fighting outside, and Nia Jax sent Jade Cargill into the steps, which legitimately cut her open. You can literally see how bad the scar is. And what's even worse was after it. Tiffany Stratton, I believe she connected her prettiest moonsault ever on Nia Jax, and when Tiffany was going for the pinfall, looked like the referee counted to 3, but the referee stopped the count so that it made sure that Nia Jax kicked out when she didn't. It even had the fans chant, "Ref, you suck." Was Nia Jax legitimately knocked out by the prettiest moonsault ever? I don't know, but I guess if Nia Jax wants to bring up that story, then maybe she could reveal what really happened. Tiffany Stratton ended up winning the match anyway. That was a terrible triple threat match for the women's title on SmackDown, but coming in at number 4 is the Women's World Championship triple threat match at WrestleMania, featuring Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair. Now, heading into the match, apparently it was originally supposed to be Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, but there was a Raw Women's title match. Actually, it was Women's World title match, my bad. It was a Women's World title match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky on Monday Night Raw. Bianca Belair was watching. I believe it was the Raw after Elimination Chamber. So Rhea Ripley wanted to make sure that Bianca Belair will see her at WrestleMania. But karma came at her, and Io Sky beat Rhea Ripley to become the Women's World Champion. Which, by the way, that was one of the most unexpected moments in 2025. I don't think anybody expected Io Sky to beat Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. But there it was. So now, the match was set to be Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the Women's World title. But Rhea Ripley wanted to make sure that she was going to be in it. Now, this was around the time that, for whatever reason, Bianca Belair was getting booed by the crowd. Why was she getting booed by the crowd? And by the way, this was the opening match of Night 2 of WrestleMania, and they completely stole the show, which led to Io Sky retaining the Women's World Championship. Coming in at number 3 for worst match of the year, it is Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Clash in Paris. Now, this had a fine build-up, but the match was not how it was meant to be. At one point, Nikki Bella was bashing Becky Lynch over one table to the other, back and forth, like face first onto the table. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then somehow later on in the match, Nikki Bella looked like she was going for a disaster kick, but it truly was a disaster because she didn't even connect the move at all. And as for Becky, she had to unfortunately sell it like how she got hit, when she didn't even get hit at all. They would think that we didn't notice, but we obviously noticed. It was on plain sight. And also, Nikki Bella wasn't even going to win the title, so why even do it? So then as for Becky Lynch, she moved on as she joined The Vision with her quote-unquote hot husband, Seth Rollins. Coming in at number 3 for best match of the year, it is the triple threat tag team TLC match on Friday Night SmackDown, featuring the Street Profits, DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, people were upset on how this was taking place on SmackDown instead of WrestleMania. This was around the time when they thought that we were going to get this match at WrestleMania. But of course, it was not going to happen because I believe WrestleMania was already stacked. But outside of the rage on how it was not at WrestleMania, this was absolutely incredible. You got people going through tables, ladders, and people almost losing their heads. You got Skull and Bones through tables. You got Tommaso Ciampa's air raid crash on a ladder. Somebody even gave Montez Ford his prosthetic leg to use as a weapon in the freaking match, which was kind of funny. You even have Angelo Dawkins spearing Tommaso Ciampa from the top of the ladder through a table. And all this led to the Street Profits retaining the WWE Tag Team titles in an incredible TLC match. Now, this was around the time that the SmackDown Tag Team division was on fire. But nowadays, ever since after SummerSlam, it just died. And can we also get some help on the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division? Like, literally, the Tag Team division in WWE was on fire at one point, but then it just died. So let's all hope that the Tag Team division has some meaning again in 2026. But as of this match, this is number 3 in my top 5 best matches of 2025. We're getting closer, ladies and gentlemen, as coming in at number 2 for worst match of the year is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at WrestlePalooza. Now, this right here just pissed everybody off because, first off, we do not have a reason on why Brock Lesnar attacked John Cena at SummerSlam. A few weeks later after SummerSlam, John Cena was on a Friday Night SmackDown as he was in a United States Championship match against Sami Zayn. And then during the match, Brock Lesnar comes out and just attacks both of them. For what reason? Absolutely no reason. And then the match was literally made for WrestlePalooza. But do you guys want to know why this was really made? The real reason on why this was actually made was to promote WrestlePalooza as the first PLE on ESPN. And this was actually the first match to happen at WrestlePalooza. And how long did it last? 5, 6, 7 minutes? It was basically SummerSlam 2014 all over again. But it was shorter. And here we all thought that John Cena was gonna get his revenge on Brock Lesnar. But what happened? Absolutely nothing. Coming in at number 2 for best match of the year is the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. And man, this was so hard for me to choose a number 1, but I already made my choice. So this has to come in at number 2. The build up to this match was incredible. Literally having CM Punk take Paul Heyman away from Roman Reigns, because remember, Paul Heyman made a promise to CM Punk around 10 years ago in like 2013. He said that he was going to walk with CM Punk in the main event of WrestleMania. And Punk did not forget about that. So after months on people trying to figure out what the favor was, that was the favor. I mean, this also started in the Royal Rumble as well, when CM Punk eliminated both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, leading to Seth Rollins completely demolishing Roman Reigns' head with a double stomp. Rollins also did a curb stomp to Roman Reigns on the steel steps, leading to Roman Reigns being out of action for a number of weeks. And then CM Punk and Seth Rollins continued their feud, and I believe this was after the Elimination Chamber. Rollins and Punk were going after each other inside of a steel cage. When Rollins was about to finish off Punk, Roman Reigns pulls Rollins out of the cage, which, by the way, if you escape the cage, you win, which actually makes Seth Rollins win, but it doesn't matter because Roman Reigns wanted revenge against Seth Rollins. So into the match, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns teased a Shield reunion. Unfortunately, Dean Ambrose is not there, so it can't be a Shield reunion without Dean Ambrose. Then Roman Reigns completely destroyed Seth Rollins and CM Punk by putting both of these guys, not literally, but one by one, through each announce table. So then, getting closer to the end of the match, Paul Heyman gets a chair from ringside, and he doesn't even know where and who to slide the chair to. Does he slide it to Roman Reigns? Does he slide it to CM Punk? He slides it to CM Punk. Heyman gets in the ring behind CM Punk as he goes for a low blow, and he turns on CM Punk, who was his best friend. Roman Reigns beats down CM Punk with a chair, and Paul Heyman tells Roman Reigns to look, Seth Rollins is there. It's time to get your revenge. But then Paul Heyman low blows his tribal chief as he completely turns on Roman Reigns, and now he joins Seth Rollins. And it led to Seth Rollins getting the curb stomp on Roman Reigns, and it led to Seth Rollins getting the victory in the main event of WrestleMania. And after that was the formation of the Vision. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time. Who is the number one worst match of the year? Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at WrestleMania. Now, come on. Y'all knew this was coming. This was supposed to be something special. But one man ruined this match. Why did he ruin the match? Because bro didn't even show up. I'm talking about the final boss, The Rock. This man got so much hate on social media, and I don't blame social media for it. And when The Rock did not want to be a part of this, which by the way, that was also the reason, WWE had no choice but just to continue this story without The Rock. So then into the match, I'm just going to skip to the end of the match. The thing that ruined this match was Travis Scott. This man took his sweet ass time, like 5 to 10 minutes, to get to the damn ring. And Cody Rhodes never got revenge against Travis Scott. Well, he did, but not the way that people wanted it to be. And of course, this was all the shenanigans because the referee was down. Oh, thank goodness that WrestleMania 42 doesn't have Travis Scott's fee. Nah, get it out of here. Get Travis Scott out of here. And this was legitimately the worst ending to a WrestleMania I have ever seen. John Cena became 17-time world champion because of Travis Scott. But let's not get mad for too long, because the number one best match of 2025 was the rematch between Cody Rhodes and John Cena at SummerSlam in a street fight. Now this match was far better than their WrestleMania match. They literally blew out their WrestleMania match out of the water. And the build to this match, obviously, Cody Rhodes was looking for revenge against John Cena. But weeks leading into SummerSlam, John Cena realized he's not himself. And on the SmackDown before SummerSlam, John Cena completely cooked Travis Scott, and he cooked The Rock as he turned from a heel back to a babyface. And now into their match, they fought everywhere. They fought in the crowd, they fought in the freaking stage, they fought down the ramp, they freaking fought in ringside, they put each other through tables, and it led to Cody Rhodes giving one final salute to John Cena as he finishes him off with a Crossroads 1, 2, 3, and Cody Rhodes is a 2-time WWE champion. And guys, like I said, they blew their WrestleMania match out of the water, especially when it was a street fight. Now after the match, it all led to the return of Brock Lesnar. But I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my list of the top 5 best and top 5 worst matches of 2025. Did you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments below. Also, you could comment down below your own list of the best matches of the year, and maybe even comment down below your worst matches of the year. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tap the notification bell for more videos, follow me on Twitter at EthanSoyShow, and I'll see you in the next one.